gathering today?
We're not very popular. We need to create some controversy so we can fill this place up.
No, I'll try to keep myself in check.
All right, it's 2:00 and I call to order the November 18th, 2025 meeting of the City of Denison Cemetery Advisory Board meeting. I have one card that needs to come on later for a citizen to speak, so I defer that if it's okay. Any other, somebody?
If it's not an action item, we're not required to listen to it. That's gonna be your choice if you'd like to listen to him speak, because we don't have any action.
I don't think he can hear for what
I
you're
can't
saying.
either.
So the action items we have are not actual action items to speak on. So if you want to allow him to speak, you can.
Well, I didn't know if the staff
Yeah,
needed
we
to speak first and he could.
No, the only thing that they're allowed to speak on is action items, but that's your call if you'd like to allow it or not, okay?
Kurt, if you'd like to say, tell me, that since it's not an action item, we can do it at the beginning. If you'd like to be heard, or if you want to hear the staff report before then, or you respond to them or they respond to you. What's your preference?
Sir, it's okay, I can wait during the staff report, that way I'm not gonna ask something that I usually
All
talk
right,
about.
thank you.
She's gonna
We'll
talk
do
about.
that then.
Horace, is this the last meeting or the first meeting of the term?
I don't know. I just got to town.
It's the last meeting.
The last meeting?
Yeah, the term, oh, no, it is.
No, this is the start.
It's October 1, yes, it is the first.
This is the first meeting? And do we know whether there
Are
are
we
other
it?
board members that aren't here?
So we're finishing, so yours is the one that expires, Ms. Gary.
Well,
So you're in a-
I did, but I didn't.
Right, you did, and so we're evaluating the applications now, so you're in a holdover spot until you're reappointed, or if, the panel decides to appoint somebody else, which I don't know that that would happen. We go through the process, and, the appointments will be on the December 15th council agenda for final appointment, but we'll obviously let you know before then that you've been reappointed, so. It's the process we have to go through.
Okay,
It's a
but
membership.
there are,
Yeah, we have to be fair to everybody. There are other applicants. so-
okay, good.
So we do have to be fair to everybody and consider everybody and score everybody. So, once the panel makes that decision, we'll send out emails, on those that are appointed, or even if you're not appointed, and then the council will confirm those appointments on December 15th.
I thought mine was because I was under a 1 year, 2 times.
You are eligible for reappointment, yes, but you still have to apply for that reappointment, and we did have some other applicants apply for this board as well.
Oh, okay.
So we have to just score everybody. You will have an advantage being that you're being reappointed. So, but we do have to look at everybody and score everybody so that everybody has a fair chance to be on the board, so. And then the panel makes the recommendation to the council, and then the council confirms the appointment.
They have to check me out.
Sorry, I interrupted there.
No, that's okay, and of course, I'm assuming, which is not necessarily a good thing, that Mr. Greenleaf, because of his health, would not,
So Mr. Greenleaf did not reapply,
okay.
so he will not
He-
be considered.
So
to
his
reapply.
term was up, okay.
Yes, but now the other applicant that applied doesn't qualify for his spot because his is specific to a veteran, spot on the board. So the
Kurt,
person
there
that
you go.
applied is not a veteran.
Kurt, there you go. See, you come up.
Okay. We're all on the same
We
page.
have closed applications, but we do have that spot to fill, so that it remains vacant, and we would consider applications that come in, so.
All right. You've had an opportunity to look at the minutes of the August 26, 25 meeting. Is there any questions or comments? If not, a motion to approve. would be in
I will
order.
make that motion.
Second? Any discussion? Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, it is unanimous. And to appoint a board chair and vice chair for their one-year term. Nominations are now in order. Don't everybody duck your head.
I'm quite happy keeping it the same way.
Is that your motion?
That's my motion.
Ms. Gary,
Yes.
any further nominations? All right, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
And opposed? One good term deserves another. You have proposed dates for our meetings in calendar year 2026 for the first Tuesday or the last Tuesday of the month. I have no preference.
Well, let's see here.
I don't even buy green bananas at my age, so.
It's the same months, isn't it?
They're different months.
I didn't see those dates before, I'm sorry.
That's all right. I didn't either.
What's the proposed time for those meetings? Same. Yeah, you might just have that in your motion, state they approve the dates as presented and whatever time those meetings are set.
I'm definitely better off on my calendar making it the option B, the later in the month meetings.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that up there, and I was writing that down, okay. So which one? A or B, were you saying?
I'm better off B,
Okay,
which is where we are now,
yeah,
rather than,
rather than A, closer to Christmas, yeah, that's fine.
okay.
Is that your motion?
Yeah.
And second?
Uh-huh.
Motion is second is to adopt option B for the board meetings, for the advisory board meetings for 2026. Any further discussion? Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is adopted. Moving to staff reports. Receive report and hold discussion regarding staffing and operational changes.
Can you hear me? Oh, you can hear me. That was very loud.
All right.
Okay, good afternoon, Chairman and Board. So I want to give to you an update on staffing and operational changes. So the way that we were previously operating at the cemetery was that our park superintendent was the primary managing supervisor-oriented position, which of course was Chip. Chip is no longer with us. With that, we were looking at ways to provide a little bit more autonomy to the cemetery and the staffing there so that we could enhance operations and provide them an opportunity to be a little bit more self-sufficient. That way, patrons and visitors and things like that get more timely responses and answers. They could solve problems and challenges more effectively based on their knowledge, of course, because they're there operating day to day. So with that being said, our park superintendent position, while it's vacant right now, is no longer that managerial position for the cemetery. Victor was previously the cemetery foreman, and we have, through this FY26 budget process, made amendments that got approved through council to provide him a change to his position. So he's no longer the cemetery foreman. He is now our cemetery manager. And so they now have a full managing staff from day-to-day operations for our cemeteries. So any questions, any programs, challenges, things like that. Of course, we still have Sherry who does the day-to-day administrative portions, but a lot of those things when they need to be elevated or if they need any field responses or quick decision-making, that is now Victor. And I'm available for any questions.
Does that mean that Victor reports directly to you?
Yes, sir.
And there's no one in between now?
There is no one in between the cemetery and the department director.
Okay.
And that's it.
That's just a matter of information.
It's just informational, yes. It's just an update so that you're aware of how the cemeteries are now operating. That way, if you have questions, concerns, I know, and you visit the cemetery quite often, then you know what his position is now, and that there will not be, when we hire somebody for the park superintendent position, they will have no portion to the cemetery as far as decision-making. We no longer have to go that one step further. It's all there.
Sherman is stealing your staff.
I'm sorry?
Sherman is stealing your staff.
No, Chip, I believe is doing, went into business for himself.
Is what?
He went into business for himself.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So he stole himself from us. But Sherman does steal some of our other staff.
That's just because you've hired good staff to begin with, right?
That's true. We have a great staff. So I would want to steal them if I was them as well. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Item B is to receive a report and hold discussion regarding cemetery sweep.
Good afternoon, Advisory Board Chair and board members. My name is Victor Ricano, Cemetery Manager, as Amanda pointed out, and I'll be going over a couple of items for staff updates. The reports for regarding cemetery sweep.
I don't think there's any other, it's collected in one.
No.
But the other two one after. So you just provide your update.
Okay, so in regards to the sweep, we have been placing flags as of the beginning of November to to give advance notice to individuals and family and loved ones who have plots and lots out there by placing a red compliant flag and letting them know that they're not within compliance of the city ordinances. The official kickoff will be mid-January, as we've discussed prior. But in regards to that flag, that's just a notice. We have seen many people already correct themselves. People that have questions, they're coming to me, and I'm handling them on a case-by-case situation. But for the most part, Sherry's also documenting it in our new cemetery software, SemSites, and creating work orders, and we're completing them as the day goes by. Some people are yet to correct their lots. When that time comes in January, we will have a more simplified game plan of what we're gonna do in regards to making that lot or plot compliant with keeping within city cemetery ordinances.
Have you had any feedback, pro or con, from people?
I'm sorry, sir?
Have you had any feedback, pro or con, from people?
We have, and I have tried to stress to them that we're doing three things. Number one, we're bringing awareness. Number two, we're giving people the information that might have not received at the time of the deceased because they were in mourning and they didn't have time to read 4 or 5 or 10 pages of cemetery ordinances. But we're also trying to educate the families and loved ones and anybody that has loved ones out there. Educate, inform them, and bring awareness to the situation that never beforehand have we ever enforced them. So we have had plenty of feedback. We have had phone calls, a few emails, but for the most part, work orders for me to reach out to the family and make the situation right. And I'm handling it with care, plenty of sensitivity, and
I'm sure you are. No, I was just wondering whether generally you were getting any kind of.
well, the first consensus is that that might be distraught, sad, confused. But when I tell them what our goal is, what my goal there to do besides just maintain a beautification process throughout all 6 cemeteries, they understand what I'm trying to do. And I, by no means am I here to cause hate and discontent. I'm just trying to keep it simple. I'm not trying to compare us to wrestling, because we're not Memorial, first of all. We're
What are
city
some
operated and
typical
owned.
violations to the ordinance you're running across now?
We are running across many people that are putting fake flowers into the ground. They must be in an approved vase that is either attached or fixated to the vase or the foundation of the monument. A lot of people are just going there and just taking Hobby Lobby flowers in the ground, and that impedes groundskeeping. So that is the biggest group of violators.
What about the little plastic thing that has a spike in it that you put fresh flowers in? Then you go back and.
That is handmade. You're referring to a PVC pipe.
No.
No?
No, it's from the florist. It's a small little container that has a spike on it. And I stick it in the ground, it's a vase that holds fresh flowers. Then
Yes, that is authorized. They're granite.
Then I go back and pick it up and take it.
Yes. And sometimes with Mother Nature and us visiting our annual four seasons, that vase from time to time will deteriorate it, and the plastic will just shred because the weed eaters will try to get around the grass around the monument. So it's better if you use a heavy duty plastic.
It's just right there by the headstone.
Oh yeah. If it's anything around the headstone, we've had to pick up items and try to make it within compliant and put them as far as possible to the base. Now, our records that we have out there, we have approximately 14,900 souls, and I only have 3 guys. So with a due time, when it comes time to do the clean sweep, again, it will be handled with care, and we will document everything. We will take plenty of pictures, and we will do it right.
And this kicks off in January.
Mid-January, yes, sir, it does.
And
Any other questions?
is it just Fairview in January, or?
It is Fairview in January to begin with because of the cemetery software that is linked to the lots and plots that we have out there for 60 acres.
Any other questions, comments? Kurt, would you like to be heard now?
Yes, sir, I will. Thanks, Victor.
Afternoon, Board. I'm Kurt Chikowski, KurtChikowski. I live at 1419 West Woodard here in Denison. So I have 3 things I'd like to bring forward to you today. The first one is a big commendation and big thank you to Victor especially, but to all of the cemetery folks and then to Amanda writ large, and that is for the unveiling of the historic marker that we put at Iron Ore Cemetery back in September 27th. Thank you for being there, Judge. It was great. I will tell you, when we first went there, I was a little worried about how some folks were going to get up the hill and what all the long grass was going to be there, but the cemetery crew really did a great job, and it turned out to be a very, very nice program. So first one is a commendation to the cemetery crew on that. The second one is about Operation Clean Sweep. Because of some other boards that I am on, there are folks that ask me, and I said, well, I wanted to go to the cemetery board anyway to see what was going on. And the first thing that I would ask, and most of this I will get with Victor and with Sherry afterwards, but I would note that the ordinance does not cover the columbarium concerning tokens or flowers or things to be left there. And so people have asked me about that, and that'd be something that I would recommend and might be included within that. And the third one is I always take part in Wreaths Across America, which is a December program where we put wreaths on the graves of veterans. And the question is what happens to them afterwards? And again, I'll talk with Victor about that afterwards. So other than that, again, thank you very, very much for the team that Denison did to get ready for the unveiling of the marker, and some other things about the ordinance that I'll talk with Victor about.
You have the date for the Wreaths Across America?
I think it's the 11th of December?
Saturday, the 13th.
The 13th of December.
And do you send a mailing out on that?
I will talk with Miss Heather Whitley, who's from American Legion Post 62. They're the ones that are running it. I know they put out little cards. There used to be right out front here, just small little cards, talked about the Veterans Day Parade on one side, and the other side was Wreaths Across America. But I'll talk to her about that, maybe putting some more cards up.
I think the scout troops do place those.
Yes.
Scout troops and volunteers.
We've supported that in the past. I was just wondering whether or not we would get a mailing on it asking us for donations to support it or not.
Oh, they'll always take some more. They're around 65% is their goal here already. There's a website that you donate to. You donate it to the Wreaths Across America writ large, and then they will funnel it to American Legion 62, which is the one putting the wreaths at Fairview Cemetery. But I'll get, I'm just wondering how best to get the information back to Mr. McKinney. If I were to email back to you, could you get to the board there, the information on it? Okay.
I can definitely look it up on the website.
Okay. If you just go to Wreaths Across America, Denison, Texas, you will get there.
Thank you.
I think the
$17 a
Daughters of
wreath.
American Revolution are co-sponsoring that with the ladies at the Legion.
They are. That's exactly right.
I only know that because they asked me to buy 5 wreaths the other day.
$17 a wreath, sir. Thank you much.
Thank you.
But they're beautiful wreaths. Probably you couldn't buy them at Walmart for that.
I don't think so. They are very, very nice.
If I may, I just wanted to address the ordinance situation. Our ordinances are very outdated. It is a project that myself, Victor, Sherry, and the staff there are currently looking through, which we will bring that to the advisory board once we have a template of potential changes so that we can discuss that. Kurt is correct. There are things that are not addressed that we do need to shore up, including things like definition. So I just wanted to address that. That's something that we're actively working on.
Anything else on item 4B? Item C is to receive a report and hold discussions regarding projects, updates, including Magnolia and Fairview fence improvements. Victor?
If I may add real quick, when Sherry first started, we had wreaths for 400 veterans out there at Fairview. This December, mid-December, we will be receiving 2,200 wreaths. So that just means that she was able to locate many more veterans.
Her absence today, is her health okay? Or?
She's got a fever and a cough, so she is taking meds and getting plenty of rest.
Tell her we appreciate her not being here. She has fever. Go ahead. She's such a valued employee. I knew she'd had some health issues a couple of months ago.
Yes, so I was saying she was able to find many more veterans for records that were lost, misplaced, and never documented. So from 400 4 years ago, 400 wreaths for the veterans, jumping now to 2,200.
I
So
would
we
just,
really need to make people here aware of that so that they can buy a wreath, that we can put them in every one she's identified.
Absolutely.
I would just like to comment on the scouts. I think they do an excellent job of placing the wreaths, and I had a personal experience, which what happened to be the troop that my church sponsors, 605. When I went to pick up the wreath or went by there, this young man said, "Let me help you." So I walked back to where I was gonna place it on Jordy's gravesite, and he was holding it, and he said, "Would you like me to place it, or would you like to place it?" And I said, "I'd like to place it." So he handed it to me, and then he backed off, back behind me, and let me do that and stay there for a minute. And then he walked me back to my car. And I just think that it's the respect that these young men are taught to give our veterans and the people in our cemetery, so.
So next we will be talking about the updates on the fence for Magnolia and Fairview and how it's improved the beautification process. For Fairview, we are at the IT part of it. IT's coming out, and they have ran fiber optics, so they will be installing more work at the gates to be able to have cars pull up. The sensor already there, but when the other items get placed on there for it to properly open and close, which will be open from dawn till dusk, our goal is to have the other gates closed during that time and have the main gate open at all times. So both locations have been green tagged and have been looked at by the city, by Public Works and Utilities, so they have passed the mechanical and the plumbing part of it. And all we need is just for IT to come out there and work their magic so we can be able to have access on swiping our cards, because as you well know, we work from 6:30 to 3:30, Monday through Friday. Some burials and cremations do take place on Saturday, and we'll just get there early in the morning and clock in by swiping our card and having access through the gate. So that is where we're at in regards to the whole fence and basically being 99.9 completed at this point.
So the gates will open and close on the weekends?
Yes, as long as there's sunlight, the gates will be open.
Okay.
Nobody should be in there at dark time.
You're just saying that if there's a funeral on a Saturday morning or something, you will.
The main gate
Keep
will
the
be
gates open?
will be open, yes, sir. The
Okay.
main gate will be open.
Right. Okay.
The gate at Magnolia, in case you were wondering, that will remain open at all times. It does have a gate, it does attach the columns, but it will remain open at all times.
With Sherry's work, is there an inventory of the number of lots that are available for sale? In the
Absolutely. Through SEM sites, there is.
It's good to have that. I wish there was some way we could reclaim those that have not been disturbed in the last 100 years. Because there's value there if we could repurpose them.
Well, it's important to know too, that not all of the information is accurate, which we're working through. Even this week alone, Victor had a situation where the information wasn't valid. So, I know we brought it before to the board that the system prior to, the last, half decade was very antiquated. So when we got SimSites, this new software, the carryover has been a challenge from our old software. And in addition to that, the record keeping wasn't exactly very accurate and detailed. And so all of that has been a very challenging process. So while there is information in the system, it's not always
state my appreciation for all the work you have done to get that project completed. It looks wonderful.
Thank you, and we hope that it stays there for many hundreds of years to come.
Victor, I appreciate your attitude that you're there to help the people, because, you know, the grieving process is, for some people it's a few weeks, few days, some of it's a lifetime in different ways. And, you know, if we can be supportive of that, we ought to, not to let them do whatever they want to, but to be understanding about where they're coming from.
I would also like to emphasize all the people that contributed to that fence. It is amazing, the people in our community that stepped up. I know for a fact, one person gave $25,000. I mean, just an individual. It wasn't a foundation or anything. And then I know our last meeting when we were discussing the 4-foot fence or the 6-foot fence, and whether we had the gates that slid back and forth, Mark and I looked at each other and we said, we don't want 4 feet, we want 6 feet. And so
That looks
then
good.
the city said, well, you know, it costs X number of dollars. Mark said, we'll table it till next time, and then I got a phone call, Mark said, I've got it. So we got the gate, the automatic gate, we got the 6-foot fence, and
I just knew the right person to call,
Well,
and
right.
luckily they said yes.
right, the point I'm making is that it was strictly, every dollar was collected by people who donated it. The city did the work as far as paperwork and getting it put together, but every cent was collected from the citizens of this community and those who lived elsewhere who were on foundations and so forth that we knew.
And just know on my end, I recognize this board with everyone that gives me a compliment. Not just you, Mark, but I tell everybody when they tell me that it looks beautiful and they thank us, I tell them that they need to come and talk here to personally thank you. But I tell them that the funds were received and collected and raised by the board, by the Cemetery Advisory Board.
$600,000, wasn't it?
Pretty close to that.
Yeah, that's,
Wow.
yeah.
I'll give Chris a little bit of the credit,
Well, yeah, Chris was,
Without a doubt.
but,
yeah, she,
I mean, it's the people in this room, basically, that got that thing done.
so,
And,
it was a dream that we were able to accomplish.
yeah.
Amanda, from time to time, we hear something mentioned, well, we don't have the budget, and we don't have the money, and that's understandable with the death the city's taken on for Main Street, among other things. But do you have any idea what the revenue that the cemetery, how much of the budget the revenue produces? How much of the city's, the cemetery budgets, how much do you earn versus what you spend? How much general fund money comes to the cemetery?
Off the top of my head, I can't give you an answer without getting with the
Is it
county
close
as
to
far
paying
as
its
the
own?
revenue. I can tell you that it does not feed into our next year's bottom line. Like, that stays consistent unless we get approvals for an increase to our operating. Now, what our operating is in comparison to what we bring in, we can ask that and gain that information for you, definitely.
Yeah.
But I don't know it off the top of my head without getting with them, and it's gonna be different from year to year.
Sure.
What I will say is the money for Main Street comes from like an entirely different fund from operating. So what funds the cemetery is not the same money that funds this project, so.
Any other comments, questions? Thank you very much. Any other thing else to come before this board?
I'll just ask a question. Is there any talk about what might be paved next year? Or are we too early in the cycle for that, or has that already been talked about in the city budget, or?
For 2026, we didn't get approved for it.
Okay.
So we put in a request for funding, and I'm not sure if you were present at the budget meetings that were conducted for, like in December timeframe, when the council was looking at those and considering whether or not they were or were not gonna do an increase to taxes. We were, same situation as the year before that, we were on that list, and it didn't make it to us. So we were creative this last year to get Pear Lane done, and we will try to be creative to continue that with what we can. But right now, we were not provided funding as we requested to support road repairs there. So I don't have an answer as to whether or not anything is guaranteed for 2026, but we will continue to look and be creative and resilient where we can to hopefully do some more.
How much of that paving that we got done the last year came out of the city budget?
For Pear Lane,
Yeah.
it was all capital money, so technically all city.
Oh, it wasn't county, the county
No.
provided some of the,
No, Public Works provided the work for us because we couldn't connect and get the county to get on the schedule for us. So Public Works performed the labor, and the city produced the funding to support all of the material.
okay. We're just trying to figure out who we need to twist our.
Well, I would think the intent of this board is that the city council representative would be an advocate for us at budget sessions and council meetings.
I don't think it is that there is not an advocacy for the need. We talked about this when we had our budget workshop, and we got together with council and we presented what that looked like. I'm a very strong advocate, obviously, for the needs, and that comes from being very connected to the boards and to the staff, and seeing it myself, obviously, the community, and speaking for their needs. And I feel like executive leadership and council understand that need. It's just a hard, challenging budget funding situation. It wasn't just Parks and Recreation with city or cemetery division. It was across the board a struggle for budget, and so it just didn't make that.
There's a lot going on right now.
Yes, yeah.
If there's nothing further, we stand adjourned.